Well, it's December 19th. It's a cold, dreary day here in Northwest Florida, just north of Pensacola. It's 57 degrees. Some of y'all may think that's a heat wave. For us, it's cold. As you can tell, I'm freezing. Of course, my heavy-duty jacket's pretty thin compared to a lot of things y'all wear, I'm sure. Anyway, I know earlier in the video I said, oh, I cheated on you, went ahead and did some things, but I cheated again. I'm done. Still have to do the big roll-up doors, but another company comes in and does that. So let me take you around. I decided instead of doing a how-to video, just to video the end of it, because I was ready to be finished. So I wanted to go ahead and just get done instead of videoing every little step. So I'm just going to show you the end product. As you can tell, I haven't picked up everything from the build, cleaned it all up, but it's good enough. I don't think y'all saw that end board on there. That's a treated board that I got covered with that. And I have the pool deck right here that I'm going to put a coating on, because you can tell those boards, they're about a year old now, so they're kind of the grayish, brownish, the color that boards get when they've been out in the weather a while. So I've got a coating to put on that, and I'm gonna put the coating on the ends of those two underboards. Got that wall done, it's already done, but I got this front done, and I got the cover around it. Got the trim around these 12 by 12 doors. I got the back wall in, I got the fan, and I got electricity. So what I ended up doing with this is air compressor. That's my well pump. I put in a well since I saw you guys last as well. I've got this, which is for light and fan, and I've got this one, which is for east wall and west wall receptacles. So since I didn't have but 6 places for breakers in my panel, I did a double breaker. So that kind of solved that. That's the light switch for the fan. That's 3 light switches, 2 for inside and 1 for under the lean-to. I went ahead and ran a bulb out here. There's a bulb over there. I just got a flicker bulb in it because I didn't have a second LED bulb. So I just wanted to test it, make sure it runs, or it works, I mean. So there's the LED lights. That's the first switch, and the first switch controls the first row. Because I figure whenever I walk in, I'm gonna have toolboxes, shelves, and my tool bench on this wall right here. I could just turn that on, come in, grab a tool, turn it off, and leave, and I don't have any waste. If I'm gonna be in the shop, I turn the second switch on, and it does the other 2 lights. And as you can tell, it's pretty bright in here. I have about 92 lumens per square feet. They say minimum for like a warehouse is 50 lumens per square foot, and I believe 100 is like a woodworking shop. That's kind of the max. I ended up with 92, and it's pretty bright in here. I can do whatever I need to do. I'll leave the lights on just for giggles. So if I turn the switch on for the fan, as you can see, the fan works. It's cold, I'm not gonna keep it going, but it works. So I've got one receptacle down there that I came out of the panel to the receptacle, up and over the door, and that's the wire that goes out to the 2 lights under the lean-to. But I went around this pillar here, this pole, put a receptacle there. Right here, I'm gonna have a shelf, and this is where my battery-powered tools are gonna be. So I put a little 6 position in front just for the chargers. This is where my tool bench is gonna be. So I've got a switch because I'm gonna have a light on top of the tool bench, and of course an outlet right there beside it. And I've got an outlet right here. Excuse the man lift. By the way, even if you have to rent one of these, that saves so much time. Of course, I got an outlet right there. So on the other circuit, I'll start at the back this time, because it's just right here. I also bought these shelves just like that, as they sit, treated 4x4s and all that. $100 on Facebook Marketplace. If you guys aren't shopping on there, you're missing out. One receptacle goes around the corner to that receptacle, and that I have going up and over, let's see if I can get to it, to that box right there. And as you can tell, I just have the wire sticking out. I know if I'll need a receptacle or if I will hardwire in, but that's going to be one of those hang down extension cords because my boat has an onboard battery charger. So I don't have to have wires hanging around all over the floor. I can just come directly out of that and put it in. So then it continues the daisy chain to that outlet, and that's where I come up around there. I've got it on top of that top board. I ran it around the door to that bottom junction box right there. And out of the bottom junction box, I come to a receptacle between there. And then I go on back to the box. Now for the lights, I come out of the side and I come in the top, but I'm just putting power to all 3 switches. And then I come out of the switch and I'm running 12-3. The reason I ran 12-3 is because I wanted 2 different switches, 2 different hot legs. So I ran it up all the way up there to that first junction box. So one hot leg feeds the first row, as you saw, that goes to the first switch. The second hot leg comes on around here and goes to that top junction box. And then out of the top junction box, you can tell it goes up to that row and it goes on over and up to that row. So I've got one hot leg out of the 12-3 out of the top of one switch, the second hot leg out of the 12-3 to the top of the other switch. So one switch controls the first row, the second switch controls the other 2 rows. As for the lights themselves, when I came out of the junction box, both this one and the one in the middle, I came to a junction box on the front piece, and then I daisy chained 4 lights together. And then there's another junction box right there. You can barely see it on the other side of the truss. And daisy chained another 4 lights together. So you can buy lights that can do up to 8, but I only got these that can do up to 4. So junction box to junction box, and then 1 piece of Romex along the top to the second junction box over there to run the others. And I did the same thing in the center and the same thing on the outside over there. For the air compressor, again, it's on this breaker right here. It goes just through this tube, and that's just to make it a little cleaner. And then, of course, wiring in. That bolt right here goes through the back leg, and that way it doesn't just sit there and vibrate. That's a J-bolt that I put in the concrete because I was planning on my air compressor being here. Now, I ran it the other day, and it is very loud. So at some point, I may end up moving the air compressor. These are the garage doors that I still have to have the local garage door place put on, and I'm just gonna have the chain hoist on there. I'm not gonna have an electric door. That's the light right there. This one, that's the light that's going over my tool bench. So that's it, and I will make another video as soon as I get everything put in here and put up, and everything is absolutely completely done. I did forget to mention, I'm planning on spray foaming that back wall and the roof. I was in here when it was raining pretty hard the other day and it got loud. And that's probably why the air compressor is so loud. Constantly, the sound waves are hitting on this metal and just vibrating all over the place. I am gonna do that little 3-foot wall on top of the lean-to because that gets pretty hot in the summer as well. Of course, this wall, this part of the wall there is under the lean-to, so that's shaded. So that 3-foot wall, the roof, and that back wall is what I'm gonna spray foam. That wall on this side is the east wall, so that facing the east, due east. And yeah, it gets a little morning sun, but it's nothing terrible compared to the price it would be to foam it. And then of course this is the north wall, and I'm not gonna foam that at all because that doesn't get any sun on it. We don't get a whole lot for winter here, and when it is the winter, I don't work too much outside. And if I had to have a little heater here, so I'm not terribly worried about that. I'm just trying to keep the Florida summer sun from blaring down on it and making it an oven in here.